Hello everyone, this is Kiran and today we are going to learn about Selenium IDE. Now, we have seen the different components of Selenium in the previous session. So let's talk about this component of Selenium, which is a plugin for Chrome and Firefox browsers. Earlier, Selenium IDE was only available on Firefox browser, or now this new Selenium IDE is available on both the browsers. So what we have to do, we have to first install this plugin extension onto our browsers and then use it. So we will go to our extensions and you have to search for Selenium IDE in your Chrome extension, and when you do that you get this option which you can see on my screen, and you have to just click on add to Chrome. So it's already added on my browser, so it's not available. So you have to just add to Chrome, and once you add this extension to the Chrome, it will be available amongst your add-ons and extensions in the browser. If you want to add this Chrome plugin, Selenium IDE plugin for Firefox, you can do it in the Firefox browser also. Just search for Selenium IDE for Firefox, so you'll get it. Now, once it is added, you can see it here. You can pin it on the bar, and from here you can just click on it. So a new window opens. Now this is a record and replay plugin which we'll be using for automating our test cases. So what we can do is you have to just record a new test in a new project. You can click on that. Let's do that. You have to give the project name. Let's say we give it the name as demo project. Now click on OK. We have to give a base URL. What is a base URL? The URL which we are going to test will be the base URL, and the reason behind writing this base URL in the plugin is so whenever you are actually executing the test cases, the new instance of the browser or the browser opens with this base URL on the address bar. So what we do, we can try and test an Orange HRM demo website. So let's write this URL here. So this is a demo website for testing. So I can just click on start recording. The moment I click on start recording, the window will open with this website open there, and I have to, whatever clicks I'll be doing after that will be marked as lines of code in my Selenium IDE plugin. Okay, so let's do it. Start recording. So you can see here the browser, it got open. So what I can do is I can show you both the windows. So I will just minimize Selenium here. I hope you can see it. So this will be good to track. Just a second. So you can see here the recording has started. Now I'll explain you the UI of the Selenium IDE plugin also, but in the meanwhile, first let's quickly do the automation. So username, I have to just, let's say I'll write the username as admin. So I click on username box. That is one action, and I can just write, I'll just write admin. Okay, then I'll click on password, and I'll write admin123. Okay, now so when I'm writing this, just a second, yeah, so now the next thing will be clicking on the login button. So I can just click on the login button. So all the steps which I am performing here are being recorded as set of steps on the Selenium IDE plugin. Now I'll just click on this pop-up. Now you can see here I can simply go to some link here. Let's say I go to this drop down and I just click on log out maybe. So these are the setup steps which I have performed as a part of this test case. Now I'll stop the test case here is the stop recording button. So let me walk you through the IDE portal. Let me name the test case as login. Okay, so I've named the test case as login orange HRM and click on OK. Here we go. Now, let me show you this Selenium IDE portal properly. So this is my Selenium IDE portal. We have majorly 3 important sections here which we need to understand. The first section is the command, target and value. Okay, so this is the first section, command, target and value. The second section is about all these buttons which we are having. We have to understand that. And the third is about the log section where we are getting the results after execution. Okay, so here on the top we have to mention our base URL, whatever URL we are going to test. These buttons you have to understand, because this is the record button, if you can see here. So the moment I click on this record button and perform any action on the browser, those actions will be recorded as set of steps in the Selenium IDE portal. Now, I can pause the recording in between, or I can stop the recording. So this is pause and play button. Now, this is replay as an execute button. So if you are clicking on this run all tests, let's say we have 10 test cases, all the 10 test cases will run one after other. But if you're running, if you're clicking this button, it will only execute the test case on which your cursor is right now. Okay. And then these are setting the execution speed. So if you want to actually execute your test case very fast, you can keep the toggle onto the fast section. If you want to run it in a medium pace and then have a monitor on the execution, you can keep it in the middle or slow. Okay. Now, I have to explain you what is the log section. So when you'll execute your test cases, you'll get logs based on the test case pass or fail based on the reports which you are getting. So log section is about that. Now, the very important part is understanding command, target and value. What is the meaning of command? What is target? What is value? Command means any actions which you are performing on the web elements on the web pages. So majorly the commands will be click, or you're typing in something, or you are opening, this is about opening the base URL, and then you're typing in something, then clicking something, right click. So any commands, any actions which you're doing on the web elements will be marked as command. Target is the location where you're going and performing that command. Target is majorly the location on the web page. So this will be taught in our we'll learn this in the WebDriver section also. But here what we are doing is we are finding out the locators, we are going there, and then we are performing the actions. Value is not mandatory for all the commands. It is mostly in the type commands. Whenever you are trying to put in some values onto the website, then values are important. Okay, as in the user ID and password, you can see here in the value, right? So values is about that. Okay, now what we'll do, we can delete the extra steps which got recorded, which you can clearly see that this got recorded later on after logout. So I'll just delete it. I'll delete this also. I'll check. Okay, you're opening some website, you're setting the window size. If you don't want to set the window size, that's also fine in our execution. So I can just remove this. Then you're typing in the username as admin. Where you're typing the username as admin is this, the address of that place. So I'll explain you how to find out this target and a lot of knowledge about the target in few minutes. For now, let's understand. You have to just go and click on the user ID box and pass on admin as a part of the input box there. Then again, you're typing in password, which is admin123, and the address is found out like this. Okay. Now, once you do it, then you can click on the log out button directly. So I think these steps got recorded unnecessarily. So I'll just go and delete them. So you can select multiple. Oh, it's not getting selected. Okay, no problem. So I have to just do right click and delete. So I'm deleting whatever I don't need. the lines of code I'm deleting. Now this is about clicking on something, maybe the logout button, and then I have clicked on, no, this is logout button. We can see from the name of the targets, from the attributes of the name of the attributes. So link text logout is there. So you remember there was a drop down before that, so that's what got recorded, I think. So let's replay it and see how it works. So I'm running it. Let me keep the speed slow so that you can monitor. So I'm running this test case. So the moment I click on run, the browser will open, and I can maximize it just to make you give you a look, full view look. Now it's opening my Orange HRM demo website. Then it will go to admin, and it will type the user ID. You'll go to password, type the password, and log in. Now once it is logged in, it will look for the logout drop down, isn't it? Now this is, I've clicked on as a part of the, yeah, it got logged out and everything passed. So one was the pop-up, the second one was the drop down, and the last one was the logout. So that's how we are actually recording and replaying. But we have to understand few more things as a part of the Selenium IDE training. So first thing is understanding the target, how we are actually understanding what is recorded, and then we have to also verify the test cases. That is also important, so we have to learn those. But before that, just check the log section. You'll understand, you'll get that final green color. In the green color we got the name of the test case completed successfully. That means the test case is passed. And then there are a set of steps, like whatever number of steps we had here, let's say 6, all those 6 steps are mentioned with okay, okay, okay. So if anything is not passing, we'll get an error message and we'll know that which line of code has failed. Okay, it's a very good tool, simple tool for record and replaying. It cannot be used for complex testing. It cannot be used for applying any looping constraints or applying any for loop or if-else statements. So conditional operations cannot be applied. But yeah, simple testing with a basic flow of test cases and verification, and we can apply here. Okay, so let's move forward. Now let's try to record another test case and see some more concepts of Selenium IDE. So we'll click on add new test case and we'll name the test case as, let's say, login 2 or something, and then we'll click on add. So when we are adding the new test case, my test case will be created and I can just go there and start the recording. So the moment I click on start recording, it will open the base URL which I had mentioned in the project. Now since the base URL has opened, now you can see on my screen the same URL which we had used in the past has opened. Now let's say I want to fill in the user ID here. So let's say I'll be writing admin here. Now I'm writing admin, but I can just right click here and you can see here there's an option called Selenium IDE. This is a new feature in the new Selenium IDE. So there we can see there are various actions or various commands which are there: assert, store, verify, wait for. So we can do anything. If you we can choose anything from here. Let's say I want to verify that the particular user ID box is present on the page or not. So I'll just do verify and then present. So moment I click on this, my line of code is getting written here, which is verify element present, and then it will verify that the presence of the user ID box, and then perform any other action which you are doing on the screen. So let's say we are clicking on it and writing or passing on typing admin or anything. Now let's say password. I'll go on the password box and just then do a right click and Selenium IDE, and we can again do a verify text present or verify box present. Then we can use this present, and then it will verify the presence of this password box, and then they can pass the password, which is admin123. Now same I can do with login, but let me just skip that part and click on login. So it will log me in to the Orange HRM website, and after that I can just do a logout. So I'll click on this pop-up, and then I'll click on that and drop down, and then click on logout. So this is a test case which I am performing. I will stop the recording here. Now, so what is happening here is we have seen that the set of steps got recorded. Now we can just have a look at open. Okay, so the setting of window size has been done. I can just remove it if I don't want to. Then instead of typing username, I want the verification to happen first, right? So I can just move the test case up. So I can just drag it here, and I can keep it wherever I want to. Let's say I want to keep the verification command on top. First verify the presence of this element, and then type the admin and type the password. So yeah, so password verification has come here. I can do it before filling in the password actually, and then the password should be filled in. So yeah, here we go. So verification of password box will happen, then the password will be filled in, and then there are some clicks. Okay, so this line is not required. I'll just simply delete it. Then I'll just delete this also, and then link text leave. Okay, there was some link text which I have clicked. Okay, then log out, and then these two also got recorded. Okay, now so this is mouse over actions got recorded. Okay, so this is the set of test cases, the entire test case which has been written. I can rerun it and see how it gets executed. Let me do that. Now let's execute the test case to see the results. So I'll just click on this button, run current test. So when I'm running this, you can see that whatever set of steps we have performed as a part of the recording will be replayed back. Now the Selenium IDE has opened the Orange HRM website. It will go to the user ID, verify it, pass on the user ID as admin. You can see all the steps which are getting checked, tick, 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 are actually passing. Then verify element present password, and then it is typing the password, and then it is clicking on login button. Yeah, then it will click on OK and then log out. Yeah, so everything got successfully executed. Now if you want to look at any of the commands, I have to just go and click on it. Let's say I'll click on the type command. It will give me a good explanation of what the command is about. It will tell me what is the command, tell me the target from where it is going and typing, and it will also tell me the value. So just clicking on one command can give you a good detailed information about that command. Now we have to see one more thing. So let's say in the target, I'll just do a drop down here. So we get more locators like XPath, relative, and XPath CSS finder is there. Then there is ID relative, then XPath position. So majorly this drop down will contain all the targets, the primary and the other targets. So let's say one primary locator is not working, then we can choose the secondary also. So that is a good new feature in Selenium IDE, that we can have multiple options available, whichever we want to choose. Let's say we'll go to some other command. So let's click on this. So name is equals to password is certainly first primary locator. Then we have CSS, then we have XPath and XPath ID relative. So there is 1 2 3 4 4 options we can choose any one of the, let's say the primary locator is not working, then we can choose other locators. So that is the use of this drop down here. Now let's say we'll go to any of the commands and we'll do a right click here. So from here we can do a lot of things. Let's say I want to delete this command, I don't want this command anymore, I can simply delete it. Or let's say I want to insert a new command before it. So the moment we click on insert new command, it is created as a comment here, and then we can remove it. So right clicking on any command gives you a lot of option, like inserting new command certainly is useful. You can delete that command. Okay, then clear all commands. Suppose I want to clear all the commands. Then toggle breakpoint. Let's say you want to create this part, this line as a breakpoint. So the moment you click on toggle breakpoint, it is used for debugging. So when you're debugging, it will, your command set of commands will run only up till that line, and then you can do the debugging. Now something on play to this point, record from here. So all these options, play from here. So these are all the options available here, and then we can choose any one of these for a good debugging. Okay. Now another thing about I'll just delete this line for the time being as I'm not using it. Right click, delete. Another good thing about Selenium IDE is the implicit weights are automatically added here. We don't have to worry about the implicit weight. In the previous version we had to add weights from outside. So these weights are all added. So this, we don't need to explicitly add, and that's where our code is not failing if it's taking more time, if any of the element is taking more time to load also. Now to check the this, what we can do, we can change the XPath. Let's say let's create change the target as name is equals to password 1, which is not available, so it should fail ideally. So when I'm rerunning the code here, you can see what happens. So it will wait until the implicit wait, and then it will fail. So I'm just rerunning the code, and then check the running login 2 part. So it has opened, it is setting the window size, then it is checking for the user ID box, and then it will pass the user ID into the box. Then it will look for the password box, which will pass. But now when it's trying to type, it will not get that element because we have changed it to password 1. So it will fail. So it will wait until the implicit wait, and then it will fail. So just to show you how many seconds of implicit wait is there. So let's just wait for the code to fail, and then we can see the error message also and how the wait is failing. Now you have seen that there was 30-second wait applied. The 30-second wait got fail, and then my code also failed at the end. So this is how now we can be very clear that yes, it is waiting until 30 seconds of the implicit wait which is mentioned. Okay, now just a second. After this we have to understand about, okay, I'll just make this correct again so that it doesn't fail the next time, and I'll just save it. So we can rename from here. We can duplicate a test case, delete and export. So what we can, I have to just Control S, I can do a save on this so that this will be saved. I can clear the logs from here. let's say I want to clear the logs, and if I'm running the test case again, it will give me a quick pass test. Okay, so let's do it. Yeah, so we can see that our test case is almost about to pass successfully. So we can see that our test case is almost complete and successfully finishing off. Now, so once we have done this, we have to just quickly see the difference between two terminologies here. One is verification and one is assertion. Now, both are used to validate any test case or to verify any test case, but there is a slight difference between these two terms, so it's very important to understand that. So let's say we are applying any verification command. So here you can see that the verification command has been applied. Now, if the verification command or verification of anything fails, then our test case will not, while executing, will not stop at that point of time. It will run till the end with an error message at the end. But in case of assertion, what happens? Let's say instead of verify command, I would have applied assert command, and our assertion would have failed because of some reason. Now, in that case, our test case would have been aborted at the line where our assertion has been written. So, this is a very important difference to know, and to show that, I'll quickly fail a verification. Let's say first, let's see verification command. So let's say I'm failing a verification. I'm changing the username box to something else which is not existent. So when I run the test case, I'll just make the speed a little faster. So when I'm running the test case, you can see the verification will fail, but at the same time my test case won't stop at that line of code. It will run up till there with an error message. Okay, so you can see there's username, there is password which is there. Okay, and then the username box verification has failed, but still my test cases are running. It will run till the end, and finally I'll get an error message at the end. Okay, so login 2 ended with 1 error. So my test case got executed till the last line, whatever, but there is an error at line number 3, which is element with locator name is equals to user1 could not be found. So that's very, very clear. The error is very, very clear and well written. Now let me apply an assert command here. So assert command can be applied while we were recording. If you remember, right click and then select Selenium IDE, and then we can choose the command. But let's say we can add a new command in between. So let's say I want to assert the password or username, anything. So let's say password. So I can just insert a new command, and while inserting, I'll just write the command as assert element present. And what is the element I want to check for its presence is the same as the username box. Name is equals to username. So here in the target, I have to write the same username which is there for the username box. So target is this. Now so this is an assertion. So it will again, if I run it now, it will run successfully and everything. But let's fail the assertion now. There's nothing called username 1, right? So let's fail the assertion and try to replay. So in trying to replay the test case, we have to see that what happens when the assertion is failing. So username box is not available according to this test case which we have written. So our test case will fail then and there, and it will abort. It will not move forward. So You can see the username 1 box wasn't found. So there's no more further execution of line number 6, 7 or any other lines. So element with locator name is equals to username 1 could not be found. So only here I got the error message, but at the same time there was no more lines of code which got executed. So that is the difference between verification and assertion. I hope it's very clear now. I'll make the test case perfect again. So this got saved. Yeah. Okay, apart from this, if you want to check about any of the commands, so whenever we have hovered the mouse over any of the line of the code, we can just go to the reference section and we can see that what is this command about. It will give us a detailed information about the command, and that's a very good feature actually. So that's all for the Selenium IDE session. In the upcoming session, we'll learn more about Selenium. So till then, thank you.